Hello, lovely folks. David here, and welcome to episode 3 of Spooniecraft. As you can see, we have finished the digging. It was a lot, but we now have a big flat area to build the first section of zombie parkour on. But that's not what we're doing for this episode. We're going to have to do the prep work so that we can start the actual build probably, hopefully, next episode. You see, my storage system is a mess, and it's outside. Also, to even start building, I have to make an overwhelmingly large amount of packed mud. I also have to mine a boatload of copper and set up a villager farm to feed a villager trading hall, so I can then farm the other supplies I'm going to need, just so I can start. But first, I'd like to show you the mischief we recently got up to last weekend. It was a prank. A fun prank. Monkey, our server admin, doesn't get a lot of time on the server to play, and he's not had a roof on his base for many months. So a small group of us decided that it might be fun to give him a very ugly roof, just for lols. And it was very fun. So, enjoy.
So, we have a little bit of a dilemma here. A little bit of a problem.
Uh-huh.
Monkey's house really needs a roof.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Monkey is much more of like a very casual streamer, but he's the server owner and he's the admin. So like he doesn't get on and play as much as everybody else.
Which is fine.
And his starter house, yeah, which is great, which is fine. Like we're aware of this going in, and he's also had plenty of life stuff just like everybody else this year.
It never ends.
We need to summon him back here, and I think a great way to summon him back here would be to make the most garish roof for his house possible. You want to show our beautiful palette here?
I'm sorry. Somebody said we should disintegrate him. Chat. That's not.
Him?
Chat. That's. I don't think that'll bring him back.
Love Monkey. Yeah.
I spent 2 days doing the purple.
All right.
Pepper.
Yeah. So we were discussing this.
Got so much. What the heck?
We were like, what's the ugliest color palette that we can use? Is orange and purple.
And specifically the resin and purple.
He doesn't play Minecraft. He deserves to die. Captain Dorcas, what are you talking about?
That's kind of fair.
He plays Minecraft. He built this. He just didn't build the top of it. You know, it's been raining. Yeah. There's been water damage, and so we're gonna fix it for him. You know.
You know what's really funny? I just realized this in the trailer. Monkey was the one pulling a prank. The trailer for Spooniecraft.
And now we're the ones.
And now it's on us.
The pranker becomes the pranked.
Exactly.
I love it. Isn't it wonderful? Okay, so now we move on to the next project, which is the area of this build that is my much needed base. So I wanted it to be at the location but hidden from at least view, not necessarily like ninja, so that no one could visit me. But at first I was trying to figure out how to get, the storage system and some farms into Sham Castle, but it's not big enough, obviously. And then I thought, what about one of the buildings in the city? But then once I finished the actual game, then my access would entirely depend on wings or dodging zombies, which sounds like a constant death loop territory. No thanks. But then I got an idea. What if Sham Castle is simply the entrance to the base? So, I'm sure you know what's next. Cue the music and wish me luck. welcome back. So I have had a ton of technical issues, and other than the lighting issues you probably saw, these technical problems have resulted in me losing the second half of the montage footage. And then to make it totally a Murphy's Law episode, I went and recorded this post-montage talkie bit without recording the audio. And I only realised it after I did a bunch of other stuff. So the whole thing's a bit of a mashup. But I got some health stuff going on. When isn't it? But there's some extra stuff. And it's really kicking the heck out of my energy levels and consequently also my brain spoons. And that means I'm making silly mistakes like not pressing record on the primary voice audio. Woo! However, I'm just going to do the best I can with what I have. I am sorry that this episode's a bit mishmashy, but I hope the next one will be better. Alright, even though you only saw half of the building, actually mostly you saw the digging, I'll give you a tour of what I've done. So I initially wanted to just have the external entrance at the top of the tower, but my flying isn't good enough to land on the tower, at least without, dying. And despite playing this game for more than a decade, I am still quite regularly defeated by ladders. I'm also impatient. So I put a door in, so now I can walk into my own base. I like drop chutes, so I have water at the bottom for the downies, and a bubble column for the uppies. Because it's always downies and uppies. To the left here, I made a space for a strip mine, because my other one will soon be covered by sewers. I won't be able to get into the entrance. Also, I do like to have my entrance in the base, so there's less chance of being attacked by mobs on my way to said strip mine. I also already started digging before I realised that I had to reshoot this talkie bit. So it's already a strip mine. Sorry. Through the doors, we have a bamboo and deep slate motif. I know a lot of folks don't like black and yellow, or, black and green for that matter. But I wanted to pick contrasting colours that were relatively easy to mine or farm, and which would stick out from the sewer palette, which is deep slate and packed mud. So the thinking of that very different contrast is that if someone's doing the sewer puzzle and they notice the palette change because they've stumbled into an area that's they're not supposed to be, they'll realise they're outside of the game. Hopefully. We'll see what happens. So, to the left is my primary storage for all those, things that need quick access. Also, my bed. This grid along the left wall is intended to be part of a villager trading hall. Though I may rip these ones out on this side of the doors to make room for more chests. Because I forget how much stuff, you have to store in Minecraft. In survival, at least. Through the double doors, in front of me, is the current flat area. But it will transition into an area of the sewers that will hopefully function as an emergency exit for folks if they need to get out of the game quickly. To the right is more trading hall and a bunch of small farms. Now, pretend this farm is not here. I'll talk about it in a minute. So I put in a little furnace array with a minecart delivery system, which I've never done. It was kind of cool. And then a compost array, because I'm going to need a lot of bone meal. Then a farm for snowballs. I don't really know if it's technically counts as a farm, because it's just a snowman, trapped. And I can just mine his snow. But people call it a farm. Whatever. And then I've got an egg producer farm. Again, I don't know if that counts as actual farm. But I have the intention of making a lava chicken farm. And please don't sing that song. I hate that song. Because, hot chicken is good. There's also the small chance I'll have to talk to the others, that I may be able to resurrect my old habit of spreading the joys of chicken infestation throughout the server. Before I ever watched Gren, I too was the chicken man on shared games, and it would be fun to resurrect that, assuming it's not going to crash the server with too many mobs. There's the dye farm. I really wish there was a similarly easy way to make a farm for blue dye, but that's okay. C'est la vie. At least I have these colours. Then a lava farm, which will eventually supply infinite fuel for the furnace array. I just need more buckets and more lava for it to become self-sustaining. And at the end, which I'm still designing, I'm also intending on making a bamboo and a sugarcane farm. Because I have wings now, and I have to regularly make rockets, which I haven't had to do before. I'm probably also going to need a lot of wool, so at a later date I'll be expanding all of this to put in a wool farm, but I haven't decided if that will be expanding behind the trading hall, or if we can extend it along this line. We'll see. If you have any suggestions, that would be welcome. And we come back to the farm at the beginning. For anyone who doesn't recognise redstone devices from one look, like me, this is a mud farm. Or more, it helps you make mud faster. I don't know if there's such a thing as a fully automatic mud farm, but this'll do given the limited space. I spent a lot of time trying to sort out how this works. I watched a bunch of tutorial videos, and to those who make popular redstone tutorial videos, you'll need to test them with middle-aged brains because you'll go way too fast for me. I paused so many times it wasn't funny. But I found one that I could make in my creative world, and it worked in the creative world. And then I made it here. And this is not that farm. That mud farm didn't work on the server, probably, I'm assuming, with my Kiwi ping. Kiwi ping is like Aussie ping, only probably worse, because not only is the server far away, not only is New Zealand's overall internet speed extremely slow in comparison to the other places to begin with, I am also forced to play over a Wi-Fi network, because my newish laptop does not have the ability to connect to a router via a LAN cable. So it is slow from my computer through the internet and to the server. And my amateur diagnosis of the redstone problem is that I think it was due to weird timing issues in the redstone was the reason why it didn't work. So the first mud farm just put dirt from one test into another. No mud. But that's okay. I surrendered and went looking again for a more lag-friendly version of the farm. Thank you, El Mango. I presume that's how you say the name. Your tutorials are a little tiny fast for my very middle-aged brain, but the tutorial was very straightforward and the darn thing worked. I did a lot of sand mining to get the glass for the glass bottles, because some of the problem might be that I didn't have enough glass bottles. I don't know. But it's done, and it works. It actually works. I have a working mud farm. Now, I don't know if you know this, but making mud with this machine is dollars bricks. It's a grind. But thank the gods of luck and fortune that audiobooks exist. So I've already made a lot of mud and put it into the furnace and into boxes, but I still have a lot more to do. And I'll continue with that to prep for episode 3. I hope the next time you see me, that my life and your life are easier than it is right now. I hope things are better and more peaceful and more joyous, if humanly possible. So, have a good one, and Aranitasa.